What is going on? Welcome everybody. It's Mission Fishing Live. I'm your host Muto. How's everybody doing today? We almost made it Thursday. A couple more days till the weekend. I know it's when a lot of you guys are out fishing. Let's see who we got in the house today. Peter86. What's going on? TV Metal Art. Welcome to the show. Doug Rubin El Sueño, the tuna killer. What's going on, Doug? Leonard Oos. What's up, dude? Glad you can make it. Dig the voice. I always send a note down to tell the fish to stay and wait for the next time I come out fishing. Spot burning is an epidemic for us. Yeah, we're going to talk about that for sure. Let's get your guys' take on that. Marvin, Spinning Rod Rebel, what's going on, dude? Oos. Cave Dog Cal in the house, what's going on? Glad you could join us again, Cal. Always love having you in. The myth, the man, the legend, the poster boy for, what is it, PB shout outs. Benji Moreno, what's going on, dude? Oos, welcome to the show. Graham, what's going on? Welcome. Carpooled with my son today. He had to stop at the apprentice on the way home. Long day. On our way home now listening. Have a safe trip, dude. Take your time. Listen. Andre, what's going on? Oos. Jessica Muto, Oos. Dario Simas, what's going on, man? Pohukai, glad to see you back. Oos. Jesse Brumet, Oos, on time this week. That's right, man. Always on time. That's not true. I was late last week. SoCal Steve, what's going on, dude? Oos. Fernando C. Oos, what's going on? Salty Dangler. Oh boy, here we go. Oos. That's right, here we go. We're going to talk about some controversial topics. If you guys, Salty Dangler, if you guys aren't subscribed or check out the Fishy Hour channel, it's with Roman Castro, and then Roman and Brian Likes to Fish. On Wednesdays, Roman and Brian do it, and then on Mondays Roman does it. Look up Fishy Hour. They have their own channel. They do a talk show like this one, and our very own Salty Dangler was on yesterday, so go check that out. Check out the replay. Good job, Salty. Cool seeing you on there. Did a great work. I like checking out your Datsun. Eric Lehman, what's going on? Oos. Peter86, La Jolla looking good this weekend. It is. That's true, dude. You've been seeing the post. Bonnie Larson in the house. Oos, welcome to the show. Jessica Muto with the $2 super sticker. Spending all my money. Supporting myself. Marshall Floof, Oos, what's going on, dude? John Escobar, welcome back, man. Glad you can make it. Sure, it's a Nova. That's funny. I swear it looked like a Datsun. I don't know why. Yeah, we got to see the Nova. We got to see it all. Captain Dan Oos. Greetings from Thunder Valley Motocross TV truck in Lakeside, Colorado. Dude, welcome. You're watching it. You different time zone over there, or is it the same? That's mountain time, right? Or is it the same as Pacific? I'm not really sure. Yeah, dude, those Datsun 510s are sick. They're pretty sweet. All right, guys, let's see what we got on the agenda today. We're going to talk about spot burning. We're going to talk about like showing spots. Is spot burning a problem? What do you guys feel about it? Go over the poll that we did. Seeing what you guys think about fishing gear. You know, what's the right gear? What's the wrong gear? Or have you ever felt shamed, you know, like using certain stuff? So kind of a little different thing. We'll go into some more of the kind of abstract concepts of fishing. You know, we go over a lot of we got some of that too, like the hard tangible stuff about hooks and line and all that, but we're going to delve into some ideas in this one, you know, some of the things that are fishing related but aren't like direct fishing. So I think it'll be good. Captain Dan 1 hour ahead. Nice. It's like this layout's different, isn't it? Didn't we have a different layout last time? When I put out the text? It looked different. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I have no idea. My dad added that Datsun 510 when I was a kid. That's so funny. Those things with the bomb. All right, let's see the news. I didn't really check out any news aside from, you know, the bluefin are close. I got a new video coming out Sunday. It's the one where we went out with Doug Rubin. He got us thing. Me and Roman are going to do kind of like you're going to release them like the same day. At least that's what we're trying to do. So I'm going to release it on Sunday. I think he was trying to get his done too. They'll largely be like the same kind of content, but you'll see different perspectives. You'll see his video and my video basically on the same thing. We were going out fishing. And then we've got the announcement later tonight. to see who goes on the fishing trip. And the winner of the trip, you'll kind of get to choose when we go out, but I am going out the 15th. So we're going out for bluefin tuna on the 15th. So that's next week. Is that Thursday or Wednesday? That's a Thursday. So we're going out Thursday. Kevin Nakata is going to lead it. Looks like we're going to have a fleet of boats, kind of like an armada. We're going to triangulate them. They're pretty close, guys. Last time we only had to go about 40 miles out. There's no need for those like day and a half trips right now. So we're really able to get them kind of 30, 40 miles out, which is pretty cool. So Kevin's taken 3 people out. I believe he did a drawing for people that were interested. I know it's kind of like a funky time to go in the middle of the week, but it's the best time to go. But honestly, guys, you don't get many opportunities to do these things, especially on the little private boats. You can go out and get on a big boat anytime you want and the day and a half, but it's nice going out searching for tuna and then being back home, at the same time, sleep in your own bed. So we're going to make the run out there. Kevin's going to be on his boat. He's got the skipjack. So if you win tonight, you can go on that trip with me. If you can't make it, so if you win and you can't make it, let me know, because then I'll open it up to some other people and see if we can get somebody else on the boat. I think Brian Likes to Fish is going. I'm going. Kevin's going. So I think that's 3 boats for sure. And I imagine Brian's putting some people on his boat, but I don't know. Maybe he's already got people in mind. I'm not really sure. So that's going to be cool. We're going to have the armada going out, but having a bluefin trip led by the Sea Samurai, running a fleet. I mean, I wouldn't want to miss out on that. So if you do win this thing today, I highly recommend you get on that, or see if you can go on the 15th with me. And if you can't, I'll get somebody else on the boat, but it should be pretty cool. So that's coming up. If anybody else, I know some of you guys have boats out there. I think it's open too. So let us know, if you want to run in the fleet. The more we have, I think the better off we'll do, because we can kind of triangulate where we're at. We talk on the radio. We're going to, I think, kind of looking for foamers. I think they're coming up. So 50-pound, what is it? 50-pound like test for on jig sticks for like poppers and irons and stuff like that. And then obviously you want your 100-pound setup and stuff. But I think the more people we have and the more we can get on comms, the easier it'll be to, hunt them down. Because if you got 6 boats, 3 boats, the more boats you have, the easier it's going to be to find them, as opposed to being one boat out there, just looking for foamers. So that's going down this Thursday, guys. So even if you didn't get on Kevin's boat, we'll see how many people we can get. I think that'll be awesome. Let me see here. Question. After 1 year of doing YouTube, how are your spots doing? Yeah. We're going to get into that, Salty. We're going to get into that. These fools be poaching these spots like vultures. I'm just kidding. I think I have a different take than a lot of people would say. I think me and Aaron Kruger are kind of on the same level with that. I'd go, but I can't take that day. It's a shame. It is tough. I mean, the 15th is a Wednesday. That's what I thought. So Wednesday, the 15th. Yeah, Marvin, that's right. It's going to be awesome, guys. I don't care what other people think. A lot of my trips, I'm the only person jigging, or most people don't think I'll catch anything. People are also so surprised when big groupers come up on the small tackle. Yeah, dude. You're in Florida, right? Dave, I think I remember that. It's crazy. The same thing happens out here, but it's even like in the West Coast, it's still not even as big as it is out there. But yeah, dude, it's not so much anymore. It's becoming more prominent, but I definitely go out there and get heckled on these boats. And then when you're the only one catching fish, it's like they shut up real quick. And then everybody's interested, right? Oh, what are you doing? What are you fishing? It's pretty funny. I wouldn't be able to make it. We have too many people out next. Yeah, that sucks, dude. Michael Tran, welcome to the show. Yeah, Florida. That is true, Dave. I know we were private chatting right a couple of weeks ago, and I own a house in Florida now too. And I've been out there fishing a couple times, and everything out there is like I've only gone out with charters, right? I haven't gone out by myself. And the few times I've gone out, it's like, dude, it's bait, shrimp. And I was asking the guys, I'm like, you guys are like, I asked one guy, I'm like, "Do you ever fish jigs or anything?" He was like, "Oh, not really." And then the second kid did. I think he was a younger guy, and he said he fished the jigs, but I think when you're taking people out, you don't know their skill level, right? So it's hard to. I understand. It's kind of hard to do jigs. Although the party boats here, um, they go and fill up the bait tank, and they primarily fish live bait too. Most new people fish the live bait because it's easy. They just put it on the hook. But when you go on a sport boats here, it's like a lot of people bring their own stuff. They're fishing surface irons. Um, they're seeing now A rigs out there, stick baits. I mean, slow pitch jigs. It's a lot of people. I think Florida's a lot more bait focused though than we are out here, to be honest with you. And we don't use shrimp here at all. We do if you bring it, but they don't have it on the boats. They go over here and pick up live sardines, sometimes anchovy, mostly anchovy lately. But yeah, it's crazy the differences, right? Wharf TV, oos, welcome to the show. If you guys check out Wharf's channel, good stuff. Fishing is fashion, especially here. That's so true. That is so true. Go shrimp. Yeah, the live bait works. Coach Wharf, he's the live bait proponent for sure. Live bait works, dude. I mean, there's no real reason like to not use it. And we'll go over some of that stuff later. I wanted to talk about as well, but um, yeah, whatever works, man. Whatever gets you bit. Some people just like the challenge. I did a whole show a couple weeks ago about like the pros and cons of live bait versus artificials, stuff like that. So let's see. So tomorrow, what are you guys' fishing plans? I'm going out. I'm actually gonna hit up La Jolla tomorrow. I'm gonna take the boat out there, see if we can get on some. And who was saying that up there about La Jolla, dude? Yeah, it's been popping off though. You saw Kevin Nakata got that yellowtail out there. If you want to check him out, Fishing Reps on Instagram, he got a huge yellowtail. You're starting to see him now. So La Jolla, it's looking good. If you guys can get out there, it might be the place to be this week. Um, I'm seeing the fish, seeing the reports. So I'm going to get out there tomorrow and see if we can get on them. So at least that's my plan. I don't think I'll be out Saturday. So tomorrow will be my day. And then probably next Wednesday as well to get out there. So let me know where you guys are fishing this week. If you're fishing at all, shore pounding, kayak. I have to look at the report. I don't know how the surf launch is though for kayaks out in La Jolla. It didn't look that bad when I looked at it a few days ago, but then I heard some people in Discord acting like it was going to be rough. But I looked at it. I didn't think it was going to be that rough. Yeah. Yeah, it's totally different. The depth too. You can fish like way deeper in Florida as well. Like we got limits on all kinds of stuff. But they love fishermen in Florida. That's the difference, right? Their governor goes out there and like stands in front of the podium with anglers and is like proud to announce all these fishing laws. Out here, it's like they hate fishermen, man. The government does, anyways. Yeah. Now we say what bees are fish. Somehow bees got grouped into the fishing games. Have you guys see that? I should have put that in the news. Maybe the next story. Honeybees got classified as fish, so the Fish and Wildlife can regulate the honey. I'm not joking, guys, either. Like, so now the bees are regulated by Fish and Wildlife. It's crazy. Like, it's madness here. We won't get into that. I'm going on a private charter. Hopefully, we'll do some patty hopping. Yeah, Cal, I'm curious to see what the patties are producing. So let me know. We checked out. So when I went out last Thursday and we hit patties, but we didn't see anything. We hit, I'd say about five. You know, usually you can see from the top if something's swimming around, but there really wasn't any bait. There was some birds on them, but patties are pretty dry. So I'm curious to see. You know, it's like when they come on, it's like they come on. You know, the patties are dry, they're dry. Or sometimes you hit a bunch of dry ones and you just find that one that's got the life and that's all you need. So I'm curious to hear about your report. See if you guys get on. Oh, SBS this weekend. Good job, Salty. You guys are in the playoff, right? That's the Bass League. That's awesome, dude. Good luck. Let me know if you guys need some jigs. I sponsor that with Salty, and Brian likes to fish. Check them out on Instagram. Proud sponsor of their SBS team. So hopefully those slow death jigs get you on them, guys. Carl Black, Oos, welcome to the show. Put a flower in line on your post. Championship. That's right, dude. Get it done. All right. Let's do some questions real quick, and then we'll get into the goods, get into the topic. So Instagram questions. SoCal Angler said recommended gear for a full day this weekend. It all depends what you're getting into. I guess it's a hard question to answer because you have to see what you're fishing for. If you're going for bluefin, which I'm assuming most people are at this point, bring 3 setups. I'd bring a 100-pound setup with the big enough reel and a 2-speed. You don't want to be out there with something light either. So get a heavy duty rod, like a 60 to 120 pounder. I'd say put at least 80-pound braid on it, and probably do 80-pound to 100-pound leader, and definitely a 2-speed reel. And then I'd probably go with the 40 to 60-pound setup, and then probably a 20-pound setup. So at least 3 setups. Your light, medium, and heavy, assuming you're going for a bluefin, which that seems to be the case right now. Jig Junkies, what's the name of your boat? I don't have one yet. Will the tuna jigs be here before July 20th? Yeah, dude, they should. So the jigs, I think they're almost here, guys. Last report, the boat was supposed to be in port by the 13th, or at least a week. It's almost here. The boat's almost here. Then it'll hit customs, and then I'll get my tracking number. So they're almost here, guys. It's almost on. We're gonna get those big ass tuna jigs, then we're gonna get all those small jigs back. I'm excited. Restocking Slow Death. Gonna get them in some tackle shops. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, they should be here by July 20th. If they're not, I'll be very disappointed. But they're almost here, I think. I like Greedos. How do you recommend hook sizes for jigs 60 to 300 gram? Also, what jig storage do you recommend? When it comes to jigging or hook sizes, the hook size is all dependent on what fish you're catching, because different size jigs can catch all sorts of different fish. So really the question should be is, what are you targeting? If you're targeting bluefin with 60 all the way up to 300 gram, your hooks are going to be way bigger. If you're just going for calicos, I've got calicos and sand bass from 20 gram jigs all the way up to 130 gram jigs. You don't need really heavy duty hooks for that. So my recommendation is to just switch out the hooks and leave the jig. And you guys remember that hack I showed you guys a couple weeks ago on the show? So this is the way to do it. This is how I have it rigged up. It's just on the ring, and I switch the jig out on the split ring. So let's say this setup right here is good for, this is like yellowtail, yellowfin, dorado. This is kind of a medium. It's a fairly heavy hook. And if I know I'm going out patty hopping and stuff like that, and for medium-sized tuna, this is how I'm just going to have it on my reel. I'm going to have it set up just like this. And now that I know what fish I'm fishing for, I'm just going to change my jig accordingly. So whether I go 60 gram, 130 gram, or whatever, I'm just using the same thing. So it'll be like this. Say I decided to throw a 60 gram on. This is how I'm going to rig it. I'm just going to put the jig onto the hooks. So I'm still good. I'm fishing for the same fish. I want to throw 130 gram on. I'm going to put it on my split ring right there. Just get some split ring pliers and hook it on. So now maybe I don't want to do that. I can go down to like a micro. I could even throw this on. And the hooks are the same. So basically the jig will change, but the hooks stay the same. So it all depends on the fish that you're fishing for, not necessarily, don't size necessarily to the jig. If you're going for a certain larger species, select your hooks for the fish that you want, and then just switch your jigs out. So this never changes, right? This setup is going to stay the same on my rod the whole time. And then I'm just going to switch jigs however I want them. If I want to go deep, if I want to cast, if I want to go small, you guys get the picture. That's a good hack, because then you're only having to buy the one set of heavy hooks too. And so you don't want to go to the stuff. I mean, assist hooks are expensive. I don't know if you guys have seen these damn things, but like two pairs of hooks is like $10. sometimes $20 for like the high end ones. So stick with the one pair and then just switch the jig out. Some of them come with hooks, and you can just take the front one off, or you can take them both. Now, if you're going for, that's for like the big game stuff. If you're just kind of going out to like the kelp beds and you're just fishing calico, sand bass, small rockfish, sheephead, stuff like that, then what I do is I just have my setup like this, just a clip, and then I just use stock hooks, and I just hook it like this because I'm not worried about it. These are the hooks it comes with. Slow death jig. These hooks are fine. And then I'll unclip it. This one doesn't have the hooks, but if this had the stock hooks, same thing. I would just clip it. So that's kind of what I do. For the light stuff, I leave the hooks on the jig for my everyday fishing, and I just switch them out with the clip when I'm going for the big game. So for bluefin, I've got a setup where it's like I've got the monster hooks, like the 7.0 hooks, and then I could switch 130 gram or 220 gram jig, but the hook, that big monster hook, stays the same. And then I just switch the jig out accordingly. So jig hooks based on what you're fishing. Aside from that, if you want a general rule, just kind of go half. You kind of want a hook in the halfway each way. That's like the rule of thumb. So we went over that. If you guys check out my video from a couple weeks ago, I went into whole detail about it, but that's the jig hack supreme. Let's see here. Also, let's see. Sorry, guys, I'm gonna check up on the chat here. Also, anything from little snappers, ARS, grunts, amberjacks, eat the slow death jigs. I rigged them with double assist hooks here, and the fish aren't too big. Oh, that's awesome, dude. So you've been trying them out in Florida? That's cool. Send me some pics, dude. I'd love to see that. Slow death representing in Florida. That's awesome. I went out there and I wanted to do some reef fishing, but the weather was too bad, so we had to go inland and we just fished shrimp. I definitely wanted to try some of those jigs. That's awesome, man. Sarasota. Oh, you're in Sarasota. Jessica's mom's from Sarasota. And we went out to or somebody went out to Bora Bora and was catching fish on the slow death jigs too. And then Kiwi Reacts went out and was getting wahoo and like some crazy island. I love hearing that, dude. Seeing them like all over the world and the country. That's freaking awesome. Chrissy Hurtado, what's going on, dude? Welcome to the show. Ironfish, take a 30, 60, 80. Yeah, dude, that's perfect. That's good advice. Steve Enos, Oos, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. Uncle John says hi. Oos, Uncle John, welcome to the show. 20 gram pre-sale. You should sell yours now, Eric, before they're worthless. Before all those new ones come in. Get them out. Get them out. That's funny. Graham, I talked to your also I'll be speaking at, I guess I got some other news. I'll be speaking at Graham's event on July 6th. I'm going to be going over slow pitch jigging and stuff like that. Let's see here. What's the organization again? Graham, remind me of that. So we're going to meet up there. I'm going to speak at his club, so that's pretty cool. Let's see. Yoshinator, can you use circle hooks as assist hooks? I don't know. To be honest with you, you probably could. You know, because I don't know if they make. You know how assist hooks have the shank? I guess I've seen them with the eye too. I really don't know. You know how they got like that shank on it? Like these are designed for assist hooks, so that's a good question. We'll have to try it out. There probably is. I mean, there's like hooks for everything. I'll try the jigs in the Azores. Yeah, dude, definitely. Kiwi Reacts. Oos, what's going on, dude? All right. You guys ready to get into it? You guys ready to get into some controversy? I get some water flowing. Keep the voice fresh. Yeah, you could snell the hooks. Like even with the eye. I mean, a snelled hook it's essentially kind of the same thing for sure. The heavy duty ones have the eye, and then they rig them. I don't know if it'd be as effective though, because the circle hook, like right, it goes in their mouth and it slides in the corner. I don't know if they eat the jig the same. It's almost like they come up and smack the jig and then it kind of sticks them. It's interesting. We'll have to try it out. Maybe it'll be better. We'll find out a new way to fish. All right, guys. One thing we want to talk about is like giving up your spots. So, what do you guys think about? I'm curious what you think about giving up your spots or showing spots, blurring spots. I see like a lot of. You ever see the pictures where people post them in groups? If you're part of like, there's a lot of like Facebook groups like surf fishing or there's like a spotty group or something like that, and so many freshwater groups and people like always blur out the background because they don't want they like don't want to show people like where their spot is, and it's a pretty big thing. Or like, or people take a picture of the grass, and not show kind of where they're fishing. um I was curious what you guys thought. I know Aaron, you guys know Aaron Kruger, he's on Instagram. He was on the show a couple weeks ago and he's a spotty slayer. I know we went out on a trip and I was talking to him about it too, and um like his he doesn't care. He thinks it's not a big deal. And he has some good reasoning behind it. I'm curious what you guys think. Um, I don't, me personally, like I don't care, and I show my spots. Obviously, I know that's why Salty was like asking after a year of YouTube, how are my spots doing? Because I don't blur anything out. I don't do it all 3D pan the camera. Everybody knows where I fish, and I know because I see a lot of people there too, especially like Spotty Bowl, right? Like all the people where I won some Spotty Bowls last year, everybody's there. But um, to me, I really don't care, and I don't think it matters that much. I don't care because I don't think it matters. And I know Aaron had kind of the same sentiment, but I know some people, and if you do, it's not a big deal either. Like if you're the guy that blurs out your pictures and you don't want to share it, I'm not saying you need to share your information. It's not that big of a deal. Um, I'm just curious what your personal preference is. I don't think it. I don't care because I don't think it matters that much. Um, because one of the things is you still have to you still have to get out and fish, right? Like just because somebody knows your spot, you still got to go fish. You still got to know how to fish. You still got to go do the jigs. It's like just because somebody knows like a spot where people fish doesn't mean that they're capable of catching the same fish, or even if they're willing to do it. It's kind of like being like there's so many books about like to be a millionaire, right? Like that's really not that hard to do if you read. Like it's a simple process, right? Like you can read books. There's so many books that are or information on like how to be a millionaire, how to start a business, but very few people will actually do it. So it's like these people give like all the secrets. And a lot of them do it. Or if you listen to these podcasts, people will tell you exactly how to do it, like step by step by step by step, how to run businesses, how to do everything. But and they sell millions of books too, but it's like 1% of the people will actually go through and do what they say and do what they think. And it's sort of the same. I kind of have the same view with like spots, right? Like I can show you all the spots in the world, show you where I've caught the 15 inchers, 16 inchers, all the big boys, but it's like, and you can sell a lot of sell a lot of like memberships or whatever doing that, but who you actually have to go out there and do it. You know what I mean? You have to actually go perform. And I think it's such a small percentage of people will even get out and like replicate your technique. And I don't think it's that big of a deal, right? Like knowing a general zone, like I don't see people like I've never seen I like see somebody catch like a 17-inch spotty. I've never run back there like the next day, like looking in somebody else's spots. There's like general zones where the fish are, but everybody knows that. Like you fish in a group long enough, you know where the fish are, you know where the good zones are, and it's not that big of a deal. But it's like knowing where one dock is, I don't think makes a difference. And I don't think enough people have the follow through or necessarily the knowledge to go do it, even though that they do know a spot. So that's kind of why like I don't care. And then like Aaron was talking about too, that the fish move. And I think maybe it's different. And I see the more blurring in like freshwater. So it might be different with freshwater. And you guys need to let me know because I don't really freshwater fish. I fish for trout. I grew up on a lake, but I don't really like fish bass. I've never fished freshwater bass in my life. People tell me it's great. Um, I've done some freshwater fishing. It's not really my thing, but I see like more blurred out pictures on like freshwater. So it might be different in freshwater. I'm not like a freshwater expert. I'm not even like a saltwater fishing expert, right? But freshwater fishing, I think, is maybe different because the fish, they don't really have anywhere to go, right? Like they live in a lake, and there's only so many spots they can go. So it is possibly different in freshwater, but in saltwater, particularly, the fish move. They don't stay in the same damn spot. Where you caught fish this year or this week, that's not a guarantee that they're going to be there next week. You're fishing spotties at the docks and you're crushing it at the docks. You go back there a week, 2 weeks later, they might not even be there. They're probably not there. You got to find them. You got to find spotties. So even if you showed somebody like a dock, you're like, oh, hey, you caught some at this dock. There's no guarantee that they're going to be there. So it's like the spot burning isn't really, I don't think, a thing in saltwater. So I'm just curious what your guys' take on that. And I just think they move too much. And I don't think people actually go out there, you don't really get it. I haven't seen any real saltwater honey holes, that like continually pay off over and over. Like even in La Jolla, like I've gone out to like rock fishing spots, they're really good where you're pulling in like friggin' huge 22-inch rockfish like those vermilion. I've gone back to those spots, and I know nobody knows what these spots are because you can't. If you do a video in La Jolla, there's no way you don't know where somebody is. It's so far off in the distance, you can't triangulate it. The water's so big that it's like I've gone back to spots, just rock piles where like I absolutely killed it one day. I've gone back there like a month later. There's freaking nothing there. Like they've either they've moved on or whatever it is. It's just they don't exist anymore. So I just don't know if, for me personally, and the reason I bring that up is because sometimes people give me shit, about like showing areas, or they get upset and they're like, well, you're showing everybody where the places are. You're not. I'm like, I don't. Let me tell you something. I don't care. Like I don't give a damn if you think I showed somebody your spot. Like I don't think you need to worry about it, I guess is the thing. It's not that big of a deal. If you're in this chat, you probably know where all the spots are. That it's not a big secret. I know some people get upset even when I show places. It's like they're messaging me, or somebody will like take me out somewhere. I'm like, don't tell anybody where this place is. It's pretty funny. Unless it's like a big honey hole. But especially if you're talking like pelagics and bluefin, there's no such thing as spots. So if you're looking for like yellowtail spot and bluefin spot, that's not even a thing. The pelagics move, they roam the water, they don't hug the bottom, they're not in the grass, they're not in the same spot. Like that's not even, you can't even have a spot when you're looking for that stuff. But we'll check up on the chat here and see what you guys think. Am I crazy? Am I way off base? Or do you guys agree with me? So I'm curious. Pidgey Marino, is Graham's event open to channel members? I don't think so. I think it's for his own club. It's an anglers club up there. So I think it's kind of his. I think it's a private club, to be honest with you.
Graham's gonna check and let you know.
He says no big deal. Yeah, Yoshinator.
Dario says you should all send me your GPS number so we can prove the theory.
No problem sharing your spots. No guarantee they will hook up. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think you guys would agree with me, right? Show the love on fishing spots. Yeah. You can post any spots you want, but open posts about closed areas should be a no-no. So open posts about closed areas should be. Is that like areas you can't fish? I mean, I agree with that. I don't care. I know a bunch of dudes that do that. Right? Move a fish, move a honey hole. Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about, Cal. A honey hole can be fire one day, then a dump tomorrow. I don't think it's a problem. We should all send me your GV. Yeah, you got it, dude. Like you know where to fish. I think there's good areas. Like everybody knows where I think areas are important. Like you can, but those aren't a secret. Like everybody knows where to go. It's like when we talk about the secret spot, the MMSC secret spot for the halibut. Like everybody knows where Zuniga's at, right? It's like it's a running joke we have because it's not really a secret spot. It's like people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna go fish halibut." You're like, "Let me guess. You can go to the power lines right across from the bait tank or from the bait receiver. You go to Zuniga, you go to Spanish Landing, right there in the channel. You can go to Tidelands across the way in those docks, like the channels and then the docks. Like there's not everybody knows that. Like it's not if you catch one there, there's only so many places you can get the fish. And there's zones where I've never heard of people like, oh, there's halibut over there, and I'll be like, oh, really? It was like under some bridge somewhere. But it's like you go out there and there's like 15 people there. It's not really a honey hole. What do you guys think about the freshwater stuff? I think maybe it's different. I know some of you guys are some big time freshwater fishermen, but that's not really my jam. Yeah, you should see Kevin Nakata's fish finder chip. He probably slit your throat if you got a hold of that. And maybe I'm just not a good enough fisherman. I mean, that could be the thing too. I feel like Kevin's got some spots that he'll go to the grave with. And if somebody tells me, and this has happened, if somebody tells me not to share, if somebody shows me a spot and tells me not to share the spot, I don't share the spot. And I've never shown it. So it's not like I don't burn people's spots up just to burn people's spots up. I say when I go fish myself and I'm looking for places, I'm not, I'm not even, I don't even tell people where to fish. I don't say, oh, I fish here. So I'm not even giving my spot away. So I guess we should make that distinction, right? Like I'm never like, oh, you need to fish here, right here at this dock. But I'm not trying to hide. Like I've never stated like where I was fishing specifically, but I'm also not trying to like hide it, right? If you know what the boats look like and the scenery and everything behind, you already know where to fish, right? If you've seen somebody's picture, you're like, oh, I know exactly where that boat is, or I know exactly where that bridge is. Like I know what those barnacles look like on that kelp on the fifth piling in friggin' Mission Bay. Like if you know like that detail, like and I do too. Like sometimes I'll see a boat or like just like a corner of like a dock. I'm like, oh, I know exactly where that's at. It doesn't matter. Like everybody knows that spot already. Like it's not a secret. And the people that don't know, if they see it, they're not going to know anyways. They don't know where it's at. Yeah, the fish migrate. That's the thing too. Even like in spotties and spotty bowl, right? They go to the grass. If you're fishing docks and they're in the grass, you're not gonna find. If they're in the grass, they're in the docks. You still gotta go find them every freaking time. I can go there where others have gone already. Technically, not my spot to burn, but if you know me, I'm willing to share a spot. I like putting people on and sharing the stuff. Yeah. And what's funny is we were I know Brian talked about this. Brian likes to fish. So during Spotty Bowl, we do like it's a spotty fishing tournament. Most of you guys know if you're on the show. If you don't know or you're new here, it's a fishing tournament we've done the last couple of years. Where it's like so many events and then there's a playoff. Anyway, it's like a long running thing. It's a league. It's not just one thing. When you get 80 people on the water or 40 people on the water and they're in the same zone, you're not hiding anything. And I know Brian had talked about this. Like if you see somebody fishing there and they've already fished, maybe you saw them go down this whole thing of docks. And he asked the question, do you go fish those docks? And I'm like, hell yes, I go fish those docks. Because just because they've went through every single one doesn't mean they've caught the fish. Um, they could be using a completely different lure. If they've gone through every single dock and they're fishing a drop shot or they're fishing a Ned rig, and you're in there and you're fishing slow pitch jigs, it's a completely different bait. If you go through there with slow pitch jigs and somebody's coming up behind you with an A rig, it's a totally different thing. Sometimes, fish they want different stuff. So just because you see somebody fishing an area and then they leave, go check it out. It doesn't mean that they've caught every fish in there. And if they didn't catch any fish, it doesn't mean that there's not fish. And even if they caught fish and left, doesn't mean that there's still fish there that won't bite because they're eating different things. Maybe the case is being made. If this dude's an absolute slayer and you're slow pitch jigging and the guy run you with slow pitch jigging, okay. I might not go down. I might not go down that slip. You know what I mean? Because if they're fishing the identical thing, and I know we fish kind of the similar technique, then they might have beat you to it. But if they're fishing something totally different, give it a shot. Fish eat different things on different days, man. But yeah, when we're fishing like that, elbows to elbows, it's like sometimes you have to fish spots that people are already at. You don't have a choice. There's not enough docks. You can't make a move. You're in a kayak. Like you've got to fish where you're at. If there's a dozen people there, I mean, you still got to go do it. They did the WTF league, right? Was in, I think it was like an all night event or first. How many fish people get in like 12 hours or something like that. But the zone was restricted to America's Cup. That's not a very big marina. And I think there's quite a few teams there. So the same people rotated the same areas again and again and again. And guess what? People were catching a ton of fish and the fish counts were up. Even though it was a carousel because everybody was still fishing the same zone. The zone was blocked off of where you can fish. And these people fished like all night. And the numbers were pretty good. So what does that tell you? They kept fishing the same spots and recycling and going back to spots that people were already in. I know it works because I've done it too during like times I've done really well in spotty bowl. I fished a zone. I fished it in the morning. There ain't a damn thing there. Spots that I know produce. I go fish somewhere else. I come back 6 hours later and I try the spot and I'm pulling out 15-inch fish, from the same area that had nothing on it 2 hours ago. So, I mean, like 4 hours ago. It's too unpredictable. So I just don't think you got to worry about it. I guess is all I'm saying. And that's just my take. I could be wrong. You guys might protect them, and there's nothing wrong with that either. I'm not trying to shame anybody who blurs out the zones. But if you caught a 20-incher, you think that thing's gonna be there again when you go back? When has that ever happened? How many of you have caught your record spotty like a 17-incher and gone back to the same zone and ever caught that same fish again or anything close to it? It doesn't happen, dude. You catch it once and it's like that fish is gonzo. You're not gonna get it. That's just how it works. What's funny is we always go back to those areas though, right? Like wherever you caught your PB is like it's funny how we do that. At least I do that. Like you ever caught like your PB fish somewhere and I still go there every time and look for the same fish. But like what are the odds it's gonna happen? It's like you're not gonna catch the thing. Or when I caught like that 32-inch halibut in the bay, every time I go to like Tidelands and I cross over in those docks, I still like I throw the A rig out in that area, right? Like, oh yeah, I caught that 32-incher here. It's like never caught a halibut over there. Not in that slip, but I mean I've caught halibut there, but they're shorts. They're like 13s, 12s. And it's like I caught that one monster, but I still try it, right? You keep thinking like it's gonna be there again, even though I took it home and ate the damn thing. It's like I know that one's not there. But the idea that there's gonna be another 32-incher in the same spot, of course there's not. But I keep going back there every time. Like I'm gonna freaking lightning's gonna strike twice in a bottle. It's like sometimes we can't get out of our own way. You gotta try it though. Maybe it is. Or maybe I just don't have that honey hole. Maybe you guys have that place where it's like you've caught that 17-incher again and again and again. I'm guessing not. Let's see here. People always fish differently, so they might not. Yeah, you guys are already talking what I was talking about. I just gave Graham 3 hot spots at SCI last night. I have a different perspective being a charter boat captain, needing to get results from my passengers. That's awesome. So you're saying the captains, so you hold your spots, like when you have passengers and stuff like that. But don't the sport boats all talk too? Like I hear those guys all the time sharing info, at least when they're from the same landings and stuff like that. It's crazy. Yeah, that's why I call Jeremiah the not so secret spot, right? People already know the spot. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty funny. Post your rockfish spots. I'll take you guys out there. I've taken people out to I've caught fish. Did I tell you that one story when I was out fishing La Jolla and I caught these huge rockfish. I was slow pitch jigging. I paddled all the way back. We were with a group. So this happens, Spotty or Salty. I paddled, dude. It was like a 20-minute paddle back into the shore. Like I kind of fished the zone. I was getting fish on like every drop. I go back and it was I think it was Lucky. Lucky not good. I know he got in an accident and he hasn't been able to fish, kind of hurt himself. And I went all the way back and he was like, he goes, "Hey man, can you show me your spot?" I was like, "Oh my gosh." I don't think he knew I got paddled back. So I took him and I paddled all the way back to the spot and I dropped him on the exact same spot that I was at. And he said, "What are you fishing for?" I said, "Dude, I was a throw a metal jig on And I think he had one. He's like, oh, it's like, I got this big metal jig. I was like, dude, hook it on and throw it down. He was like, I think it was like, he's all, fish eat these things? And I was like, yeah, dude. I was like, you got a metal jig? He was like, yeah, it's a heavy one. I was like, throw it down. He put him exactly like on the X that was on my thing. Like I put him right over it because it didn't have a fish finder or something. Or maybe he did, but he couldn't see the bottom, like, or it wasn't as good. And I was like, so mark this on your spot. I was like, now just go back and forth over his head. So he went over the spot. He dropped the metal jig, dude, and caught a freaking monster. And he was like, the look on his face that like he got bit on a jig and he pulled up. It was a sand bass. It wasn't even a rockfish. It was like this huge sand bass. He bagged it, threw it down again. Bam, bendo again. Is like, and I just left. Like I was already done with that zone, and I just waved to him and just left him there. And who knows, just let him clean it up. So I've taken people to like this, and who knows, maybe he shared that zone. Yeah, salty. But I've gone, but those like rockfish spots, dude. I've gone back there, and it's like we're not there. Right? Was that one video where I caught those big ass rockfish and then that ling cod? I think I went back there like a couple weeks ago, and it was like little starries. It wasn't even this, and it was like the exact same area that I was at. The grade of fish were not the same. So either they pushed on, or, and I don't think it was a known spot. Nobody's ever shown me that area, and it was like in the middle of nowhere for someone, and it was like a tiny rock pile. So someone to like find that rock pile, maybe they knew about it, but I don't know. I'd be surprised. Freshwater can be tough. I've seen the spots on one lake and have been skunked like 30 times. Yeah, dude, freshwater's tough. I mean, maybe I see it a little more in freshwater, right? Because people they throw the fish back. At least when we're talking bass, like most people don't keep the bass, so I know they throw them back, and it's the same bass probably being caught over and over and over. Even though we throw spotties back too, so I shouldn't say that. But I feel like ocean fish get caught a little more, unless it's trout. You're gonna keep those. Not everybody keeps even the trout. But yeah. Michael Chan, yeah, won't overfish a spot for pre-fishing. Yeah, we've all made that mistake. But that's a good point, dude. Like, how many times have you pre-fished and then gone back and it's like a completely different result? This happened to me all the time, where I pre-fished and was like, oh, this is awesome. Purposefully not to burn the spot up. Like, caught one, maybe two in like a zone, and I'm like, okay, I'm leaving. Go back there literally 2 days later for the tournament, and it's like, there ain't a damn thing there. Your pre-fish was great, your regular fishing sucked, or your pre-fishing sucked, and you go back to the same area, the zone's good. It's like, there's no science to it, man. Because if there was, we'd have the same champions every time, and we'd all be millionaires because we figured out the algorithm. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. Otherwise, we'd be millionaires because we'd all be catching the biggest fish. Nobody's figured it out. That's why I don't think it matters that much. 24-hour event, Spanish Landing. What, coming up? Oh, you did the 100 fish in America's Cup. Yeah. Right? And a lot of teams did well just in America's Cup one night. And you guys were catching like 77 fish a pop. My two best spotty bowl bag was in the same exact spot back to back weeks. Haven't really caught anything since then there. Yeah. That's what happens, right? Like you find a zone that pops off. I think they live there for the summer, but yeah, you go back and you're like, oh, I know my spot, and it's like it's boneyard. Freaking heartbreaking too, right? You think you've got it all dialed in. Like, oh, I don't want to go find him again. You can milk it for a little bit. Benji Moreno, if you're fishing a spot and kill it, do you go back fishing the same rig, or do you change it up because the fish has a memory? That's a good question. Usually it's good to change it up. That's what we don't. I think that's like one of the debates, right? Let's take spotties for example. If Aaron Kruger again, Aaron, man, I'm referring you back. We must have had a good talk on that boat. Like he was saying, you want to throw them something they've never seen before, right? So in order to catch the big ones, you would assume that fish has probably been caught before. Not necessarily, but if they've been stung by a Ned rig, right, twice, they're probably not going to eat it. Some people say their memories aren't that big and they don't even remember, so you can keep catching them on the same thing. Maybe they've been caught by a paddle tail. That's the debate, right? One thing we know is big fish are harder to catch because they are more discriminate. And I don't think there's any argument about that, because you can go to tidelands, um, one of these areas where there's like tons of spotty. You could have 100 fish, 100 fish day there. Um, I think no problem. But they're all dinks. They're tiny ass little fish. You can go over there by the front by the nursery, or like just around the bend. There's like this drop off. You can catch like unlimited spotties there, but they're all small. Like you're not going to catch anything over 12 inches. I'm talking like 8 inches, 9 inches. So if you just want to go catch fish, you go there. But here's the thing: they just eat everything. And I think because they're young and they're small, they don't know. They're hungry. They're growing. They just devour anything. But the big ones are hard to catch. I think their metabolism slows down, and they've probably seen it all, right? Like if you feed something they don't like, or they had the alien abduction, right, where they got pulled out of the water, they're sitting on your deck getting weighed and measured, and then you send them back. They become a lot more cautious. So I've heard that theory where you throw the fish something that they've never seen before, and you've got a better chance of catching the bigger ones. So again, that's kind of like, does that work? Who knows? It is a theory I've heard of though. But I'll tend to fish the same. I mean, I'll throw the damn slow pitch on everything. We'll see if that slows down, right? Like maybe if they've all been caught by it, they're not going to attack it anymore. Guess we'll find out. I think they're still going to eat it though. For me, I keep fishing what I caught. The big boys on even 20 years later. Yeah. 100%, right? Like you can't get rid of it. If something worked once, it's like it's hard to break that hard to break that mental block, man, and get over it. We all do it. It's just nature. Yeah, I just need more rockfish spots. My FF aiming up to the past the 100 feet. Yeah, dude, I'll show you some rockfish spots. I'll have to get you out there in La Jolla. Take you on the boat or the kayak. We'll go kayak fishing out there.
Speaking of, I put the names in the chat. The private chat.
Awesome. Let's see. I know some rockfish spots that are pretty consistent, but not from the yak. Right? Why would they be different from the yak? Yeah, it's crazy. It's so annoying too, man, when they don't produce. There are some zones where like are pretty where like there are some zones where like, okay, I know I can catch fish here. I know they're kind of always here, but whether they bite or what they bite. Daisy Torres, Oos, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. Welcome. Uncle Tran. I see so many big spotties with multiple holes in their nose. Yeah, dude. You know they've seen some action. The alien abduction. What are you doing with your spotties? You know when they get pulled out, it's like to them it's an alien abduction. Imagine being yanked out of your home. You're pulled out of the water. You're like, imagine somebody yanked you out of your house, put you on a table, measured you, messed you around. You're like dying. You can't breathe, and then they throw you back to the earth. Like that's literally the same thing the spotties go through. Yeah, man. When they get abducted, you ever like see them, like they're looking at you with their creepy eyes? It's like they're gasping for air. They're getting measured, like prodded. The hook's getting yanked out of their mouth, and then they get tossed back in. It's like it's total alien abduction. It's so funny. Or would you keep them in the bait tank, for like a tournament, and then release them? That's probably even worse, man. They've been sitting in there in this tube, just spinning around, like what the hell is happening? Yeah, man. You've been abducted by an alien once. You're not gonna go right. You're not gonna go for the same trick again.
Maybe they're like Dory from Finding Nemo and they don't remember.
We're just creatures of habit. Yeah, dude, 100%. 100%. Let's see here. See if anywhere else, anything else. I had some other topics, but it's getting kind of late. But yeah, I think most of you guys are all on the same page as far as the secret spots go. We had some other stuff like we can go over real quick. It was just about like a gear, like fishing gear or like fishing. This was maybe just like more of a word of advice. Like if you're fishing something that you think other people like don't approve of or something, don't worry about it. fish how you got to fish. Fish what you want to fish with what's going to make you catch fish, or fish what you like to catch with. And I say this because I was out at it was on my kayak. I think this was a few months ago, and I was over, like, I crossed the bait barge area and I went down this thing, and somebody had recognized me and they were like, "Oh, hey, what's up? I like the show." And I was like, "Oh, dude, that's totally cool." And he was like, he made a comment and he was like, "Oh," he's like, "Don't judge me. I'm fishing live bait and stuff like that." And I was like, "Dude, it's all good. Like, I don't care if you're fishing live bait." You know what I mean? But he felt kind of embarrassed, like it was like he was cheating or something like that. And he was like, "I only get to fish like maybe once or twice a month, so it's like I really like to come out and eat." And I was like, "Dude, no problem." Like, I didn't even notice like what he was fishing with. You know what I mean? But um, yeah, sometimes we run into that shame or something where you're fishing something that you don't think is the cool thing to fish, but don't worry about it. Just fish whatever the hell you want. Don't be pressured into looking stupid. Same thing with like spinning reels, right? Like sometimes this stigma about fishing spinning like I fish spinning reels all the time. People in Florida only fish spinning reels. They don't even know what the hell a conventional or bait caster reel is. It's like it's like 90, probably like 95% spinning reels out there. Um, and it's not a big deal. I fish spinning reels a lot, mostly on the smaller stuff, not so much for the big stuff, um, but I hear people like you go on some of these forums and people are like, "Oh, I just buy a fish as a spinning reel or something." Like, who cares? Like if you fish a spinning reel or a bait caster reel, and it's like I think sometimes the barrier to entry, um, people get shamed or embarrassed about what they're fishing or not fishing. I just want to tell you, it doesn't matter. Just get out there and fish. If you're catching fish, that's how you shut people up, right? Like whether it's on live bait, whether you're on a spinning reel, it really doesn't matter what you're fishing for, and don't care if anybody else has an opinion about what you're doing, what you're fishing with, what you're fishing for. If you're doing something completely wrong, that's different. Somebody's trying to give you advice. I think that's fine. But if you go out there with a spinning reel, dude, and you're casting it, and you're out there with a spinning reel on live bait, dude, and you're catching fish and you're having fun, who cares, man? Keep doing it. That's in no way a wrong way to fish. Um, that's just your way to fish. So sometimes I hear comments from people, or like I see stuff like that, and just don't be an elitist. If you fish bait casters and somebody else fishes spinning reels, who cares? Um, if other people like fishing, some people think, I've heard like people like, "Oh, a rigs fishing a rigs is cheating," and people that are like, "Oh, you don't know how to fish if you're fishing a rigs." Like, I've heard this stuff because it's the a rig is good. It's a good. It's like, but who cares? The a rig works, right? Why wouldn't you fish it? It's ridiculous. I've seen that too. Like the a rig hate sometimes. Like you're not like you're some lesser fisherman if you're tossing an a rig out there. It's like people are so stupid. I think they just get jealous sometimes if people are getting outfished or something like that. Yeah, it was just something I just wanted to bring up. So I see it out there sometimes in the community, not our community, not here. I don't see it in the Discord and the MMFC or anything like that, but I see it out in the wild. And I've experienced it firsthand where somebody was like kind of embarrassed to tell me what they were fishing with, and it was like, you shouldn't. Live bait's fine, dude. If you're a live bait fisherman, you're a live bait fisherman. If you like fishing it, maybe you like to fish it all. Same thing with your gear. Maybe you're fishing all mono on a spinning reel. Like, who cares? Because somebody's got the new bait caster with, the $60 upgraded hybrid braid on it. It's not a big deal, man. People fish for years on the spinning reels and mono. This new technology wasn't even a thing. Some of this stuff is so relatively new. It's like these old timers are out here killing it, breaking records on spinning reels and mono and stuff like that. You don't need the newest. You don't need the best. You don't need the greatest. Just fish with what you got. Fish to have fun and fish what works for you. If something's working better, man, stick with it. And don't worry about it. Don't feel like you have to upgrade your stuff either and buy all the best things, dude. Go get an ugly stick. Go to Walmart and get an ugly stick and a freaking $45 reel. You can still catch fish on it. Just you don't need a $500 rod and all this other stuff. I just want to bring that up. So if any of you guys if you're dealing with fishing shame, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Tell people to kiss your ass. And don't be ashamed to tell somebody what you're fishing with. Just because you fish a different style or a different technique, it don't matter. You know what you do? You catch fish, and that's how you shut them up. And people that's half of why they're upset too, right? Somebody got all the $600 gear and they're getting outfished by somebody on a $40 Walmart combo. It is what it is, man. Steven Mendoza, Oos, welcome to the show. Did the jigs come in yet? No, dude, they're almost here. I heard they were supposed to be in port probably within the next week. My supplier said the 13th, and then they're going to hit. Then I'll get the UPS tracking number once they pass customs. But yeah, I read your question. They should be here definitely before July 30th or 20th. At least they better. I freaking hope so. Yeah, I'll swim out and get them, dude. I'll drive up to Long Beach and crack the safe open. Had a Channel Islands captain say, "Save the jigs for Catalina. Caught the biggest ling on the boat with my knife jig, Max Kim." Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's funny. You know, I was talking about the gear shame, and I don't even think it's actually happened to me. But now that I think about it, it's like because I don't even care. I've been on boats. I can tell you how many times I've been heckled by deckhands because I'm out there with slow pitch rods, right? And they're like, "Oh, what are you doing? Put that trout gear away." You guys have seen it, like in my videos, because they don't understand it. They don't know what it is, and they literally think you're just some moron that like doesn't know just because they don't understand it, or it's not the heavy gear from the 1990s, you know, that people were fishing. Like they're so old school that they see something they don't understand, and it's like when you're straight up getting you're like paying for this trip, and you're straight up getting heckled by deckhands. You're like, really, dude, give me a break. And I've done that multiple times where instantly caught a fish on the slow pitch stuff, big fish, and it's like they just shut them up, and they're like, "Oh, well, this stuff works, huh?" You're like, "Yeah, dude, it does." Yeah, but it happens to me too, right? Multiple times I've heard it. It's starting to change, like because the jigging and slow pitch jigging stuff is becoming a lot more prominent. So it's like the heckling is less and less, but you still run into it. Last year, like the last 2 years, like it was terrible, man. Every freaking boat I went on, it's like, and it's a lot of times it's the old timers, right? They're some old guy. This one wasn't a deckhand, but he was like, "Oh, you better hope you don't catch a fish on that thing." And I was like, "It's a slow pitch rod," and they're like, "You don't even know what you're talking about." He was like, "What's that?" "That's a trout rod. That's bass gear." Yeah. All you can do is just educate them, be like, or just show them. Just start out fishing them, and then you don't have to explain anything. And it's pretty cool. And what's interesting though is like once you do that, a lot of times they're interested in what you're doing. I went on this trip, and I was getting heckled by some people on the boat, and I was just slaying like these yellowfin on a slow pitch jigging, and I was sitting in the galley, and you know how they spray the boat off and they move the rods and stuff, and my rods were like up front, and the deckhands they took my rods off, and it was funny because they were showing to each other. He was looking at it, and he was looking at the model number and the size, where he was spinning it. And I could tell he was looking like what the brand was and the models, and then he was like showing it to his buddy because like they hadn't seen it, and they were like talking smack with it. I was like crushing it on it, and they were like, I could see them. They were really like intrigued with it afterwards. So that was actually pretty cool. I was like, yeah, these guys are now they're checking it out once they saw it. But yeah, dude, it's just I don't know why they did. That's in every industry, right? Sometimes if somebody doesn't do something or something they don't understand, it's like don't be one of those guys that thinks like your way is the only way to fish. Don't be an old timer. I could see myself when I'm like 60 years old, right? Anybody that's not slow pitch jigging, I'm just gonna heckle. There's gonna be like these newfangled baits. I'm gonna be like, "What are you doing? We only slow pitch for fish over here." It'd be freaking funny. Jigmaster 3. Oh, you work at the ports? Dude, Kiwi, look out for my stuff, man. Submission fishing. Find it. What was Dario fishing? Oh yeah, remember that? We went out to uh so me and Dario and Salty and Roman were out at the islands. So we were on a trip together. This was like a couple weeks ago, and maybe a month or two ago. And we were fishing the jigs. I think they were bigger than this. They were like the 130s. And we were jigging, and the captain, he opens his window. So this just happened to the three of us, and the captain opened the window, and he looks out the window at us, and he was like, "Those jigs won't work for rockfish." He's like, that stuff's not going to work. Instantly, Dario and Salty, just as the captain was saying that, pulled up big ass whitefish on slow pitch jigs. And it was funny because the captain stuck his head back in the window and he just closed it. And he was like, all right, I'll say no more. Dude, it was hilarious. I can't tell you how many freaking times that stuff has happened, man. But that's cool. Like that's what makes fishing cool. It's like there's so many ways to do it, man. There's not a right way. Yeah, I wouldn't fish those around here. Yeah, that's what he was saying, right? Something like that. Dude, we slayed it. Everybody was fishing the live bait and the squid, and we were out there crushing it on jigs. We were catching sculpin, whitefish. Dude, it was nuts. It was so cool. It was like the three of us fishing jigs, and everybody else was live baiting. And it's like we're just pulling them up. Yeah, man, they were blown away. I'll be honest though, I didn't know whitefish would eat a jig either. Like I was like, I don't think their mouth was big enough, but they were eating it. It was funny. What do you say? Oh, you ride a trout rod? Yeah, I get the trout rod all the time. It's changing though. I don't get it as much this year as I was the last couple of years. Oh yeah, remember that trip? We went with you, Steve, when those dudes had those electric reels. Right, they were funny, but it's like, dude, how deep we were fishing out there on St. Nicholas or San Nicolas Island. It was like those electric reels were looking pretty nice after a couple hours of jigging. I'm not gonna lie. I had to explain how to fish the Tinomi jigs on the daily double. Yeah, man, it's funny. I've had captains just straight up get pissed, dude. You're not using the bait, you're not using the bait in the sinker. It's like they're upset. Like, why are you playing around with that trash? It's true. It's true. All right, guys. Just want to say my piece. So we're gonna do the giveaway. So we've got. Did you get all the names entered in?
Mm-hmm.
Jessica's got the name. So if you put in your name in last week's show, all you had to do was comment. You're gonna win a trip with me. Yeah, we did get a lot of comments. So you can win a trip with me on the boat. If you want to go this 15th, we're going to go out for bluefin. If you don't, no big deal. Just tell me which day you want to go. Pick a day. And
as long as it's not July 11th.
Yeah, as long as it's not July. I do have the baby coming in July, around July 11, July. So it might be a bad time, either sooner in June or probably it'll have to be after that, after the baby comes. But yeah, just let me know. Jessica's put the name in here, so I know who won. You guys ready? You ready for the big reveal? I don't know if it's that big of a win to go fishing with me, to be honest with you, but this is what you guys wanted. So the winner is Joey Basson 24. Ooh, congratulations, dude.
Is he even in here tonight?
I don't even think he's in here tonight, so you're not. No, just kidding. You still win it. But Joey Basson, I know you're in there. Yeah, Slurpee baby's coming, dude. And we'll get some of you guys on the boat. Don't worry about it. But yeah, Joey, let me know. And if you don't, so Joey, I know you're in Discord too. So even if you're not watching the show, I'll hit you up and I'll let you know. We're going to go fishing. If you can't make it out the 15th, I'll see if I get one. If some of you guys that want to go out on the trip, if you're available, that didn't get selected on Kevin's boat, we'll put you on. So we'll definitely see what happens. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions, if not, we'll roll it up. You guys sick of the fishing talk?
Michael Tran just asked
who was that? Michael Chan?
Michael Tran.
What rods? Let me turn this down. What rods do you recommend for rock fishing up here in Ventura? I mean, rock fishing is pretty much all the same. It depends if you're jigging. I use the Phoenix Titan. Like the long fall rod is actually really good because that's what it's designed for. I don't think you necessarily have to pitch it that high up in the column. The long fall rod, you just lift really high and it'll still pitch it, and then you just let it fall and just bounce it off the ground. I've had pretty good luck with that. Probably the 80 to 220 gram Phoenix Titan long fall rod, I would say is good, or just any slow pitch rod. If you're jigging for jigs, even just like a classic. If you want a more suitable one, like the Penn Battalion slow pitch rod is really good. I've heard good things about. Those are pretty nice, and probably $150 is like half the price of the Phoenix one. And yeah, man, it's good.
So how do you want to pick like a backup person who can go Wednesday? Should they comment on today's show if they can go Wednesday? If Joey can't, you can pick a backup? Or what do you want to do?
You could, but we're going out Wednesday.
Yeah,
so we won't
if
be
they
on the show.
comment on tonight's show after you post it, if they can go Wednesday, and then if Joey can't, you can pick a name tomorrow.
I get the day off Wednesday. If Joey can't make it, yeah, Marshall, I'll let you know for sure. So we'll see. I think I could probably do 2 people on my boat comfortably. Any more than that, I could fit 4, but I've only got like 3 seats, so I don't want somebody standing up. Yeah, for sure. But I think Brian's going out too, so I think that's another like 3 spots that are open. I think we should be able to get most of the people that want to go. Luckily, yeah, we'll talk about it in Discord for sure. You guys want to get in? Yeah, slow pitch. Yeah, anything from it depends how deep you're going too. Like if you're slow pitching, if you're going like 400 or 500 feet, get a heavier rod. You can go up to one like the 300 gram because, dude, I'll straight up throw a 300 gram, or I'll throw the 220 gram javelin all day because you got to get down there, dude. When it's deep, you want a super heavy jig so you can get down to the bottom quick. Yeah, Daiwa Harrier. There's so many good rods. Just get a dedicated slow pitch rod and just make sure it's heavy. But I think more important than the jig and the rod in this case for rockfish is get a thin line. Get PE1. You don't need 30 pound. You don't need 50 pound. Legit do like a 1 PE, which is probably like 15 pound test. You want extremely thin, extremely round line. That's going to be so much better for you than like a heavier setup as far as the line goes. Because once that current and the wind picks up, it's going to take that. If you got a thick line, it's going to scope that line out. You're going to be in trouble. So thin line. That would probably be the best advice I can give you for deep rock fishing. Do it thin. Don't worry about it. I mean, rockfish, they don't typically get that big, so you should be good. Awesome. I'll stand. Are you available too, Steve? Wednesday? This next Wednesday? Kiwi. Oh, Kiwi. So to join the Discord, you have to actually go to Fishy Hour. I don't have the link. I'm just a member of the MMFC group, so I'm not like a mod or anything. I don't have the link. Yep. Go to Fishy Hour. Jessica will post a link to that. So Roman does a show like this, like a live talk show, and then Brian likes to fish it. He was the first one that did the show, and I kind of like picked up off of him once he like reduced his days. So he has a link. I think you have to watch the show live. He does it Monday, then he does it Wednesday. Just go in there, tell him Submission Fishing sent you. They'll give you the link live on the show, I believe. And then, yeah, the Discord is awesome, though, dude. It's like a lot of these people are in there, so we talk. I mean, fishing all day in the Discord. And even when we're out on the water, we use the Discord chat, like in our headphones, so we can communicate and stuff like that. It's pretty good. Yeah, I don't have the link, dude. I don't. You gotta go to Fishy Hour. Maybe even check it, or even the Instagram. Look up MMFC's Instagram and see if you can get the link. Just tell them you're at Submission Fishing, sent you over. Tell them you know Muto. They probably won't let you in, so I'm just kidding. They're usually pretty good. So Cassie, no, I don't have my own Discord. I just use the MMFC Discord. I'm just a member just like you guys. Yeah, Carl, you're in the Discord, right? The MMFC. I think I see you in there. Yeah, I don't have my own. It would just be the same thing anyways, so. Yeah, ask the Mad Max Fishing Club. Awesome, guys. Yeah, if you don't have any more questions, it was super awesome hanging out with you guys. I'll be out in La Jolla tomorrow. Like I said, trying to get on it. Hopefully we get some yellowtail and I get a good report for you guys. Wednesday, we're going out. Submission at sea. So if you guys can't make any of that stuff, we've got a few spots left. They're kind of running low. So what we're doing is an all-day trip on the Malahini. We're giving away jigs. And then Jessica sent an email for shirts. So she's going to send you an email for your shirt size. So send me your shirt size. That's included with your ticket. We're going to make custom submission at Shirts. They're going to have like a one-of-a-kind logo with the date on it and stuff like that. We're going to trying to get the sun shirts, the SPF shirts. So send us your size. So that's another perk that's just getting added. And they're going to be unique. So it's just for this trip. So that'll be, look for an email, or you can preemptively send us your size. But yeah, there's going to be foods included. There's going to be drinks included. There's going to be giveaways, all day fishing, and it's just for this group. So go check it out. Submissionfishing.com. It's $300 for a ticket, which I think is a bargain for everything you're getting. And that's about it. Eric has an event. Yeah, Yellowtail Shootout and SBS. There's a lot of stuff going on this week. So good luck to SBS for Salty. Salty and Brian, good luck on the SBS. And yeah, so I think Eric has an event too. So it's a team event. You have to check that out. I'll see if I can get more info. But usually you meet up with them. So get a hold of Eric Lehman. Either in the Discord or on Instagram. Go to Spotty Bull on Instagram. He's always putting on events and stuff like that, guys. They're really fun. He's got a team event. So if you want to get out there, you win prizes, you win a belt. It's really pretty cool. So there's plenty of stuff to do. If you guys want to get involved with tournaments or just fun tournaments or fishing, that's the place to be. But yeah, loved having you guys. Go out there and fish, tight lines. Just keep that quest, guys. Black belt and fishing. We're going to get them together. And yeah, smishfishing.com if you guys want jigs, hats, apparel, want to support the channel. I appreciate it, guys. We'll see you next week. Oos.